Welcome back to the Scooter Spot. Today we are in Charlotte, North Carolina on a nice fall day. The leaves are falling down, and if you look around, you'll see some scooters falling down as well. In this video, we are comparing the Lime and Bird scooters, probably the most prolific consumer rental scooters out there. And we're talking about if you had to download one app and if you had to ride one scooter, which one should you ride? Let's get into it. So the first thing we're going to talk about is price, probably one of the most important things with these scooters. If you're not buying one for yourself, you probably don't have too much preference, so you just want to save as much money as possible. Starting with the Lime is more expensive up front, but the longer you ride it, the less expensive it gets. The Bird is less expensive up front, but the longer you ride it, the more expensive it gets. And this is specifically for Charlotte. The prices tend to differ in different places, but that's what it's like here. If you're riding for a longer ride, something around 10 minutes, you want to go with the Lime. If you're riding for shorter bursts, you're going to want to go with the Bird. Something like 5 minutes and under, the Bird is what you want to go with for price. Now let's go to the more interesting factor, I think, the quality of the scooter, what it's like, and how it rides. So let's look at the Lime first. Starting with the handlebars of the Lime, they're fairly narrow, not so narrow that it's an issue, but compared to electric scooters that you would buy, these are pretty narrow. Looking at the handlebars, they have a nice texture on here, so it's pretty easy to grip these. You feel safe on them. Right next to it, we have a traditional throttle, which I like. On the left, instead of a bell, we have this kind of spinny gear thing that works as a bell, which I like. And then on the front, we have a front brake and a rear brake, so you can brake both the front and back tire, which makes you feel a little more safe when you're braking. We have the display in the front, which compared to a lot of consumer electric scooters, the one that you would buy, isn't that great. It's not terrible, kind of a small screen, shows speed, battery, percentage, that kind of stuff. So just an okay screen with the Lime. Moving down the tiller to the wheel. The really nice thing about the Lime is it has this dual fork suspension, so that when you're hitting bumps in the road, cracks in the road, even a bumpy texture kind of like this road here, it kind of evens that out. You don't feel as much of the force when you're riding. So this is a really nice feature, especially for these rental scooters, which people don't treat the nicest. You can take these through some rough terrains, it'll survive, and it'll feel good when you're riding it. Moving down to the deck, we have a nice wide deck here. Nothing really too special with it, but I felt fine with putting both my feet on this deck when riding. Looking at the kickstand, and this is gonna sound trivial, but it's not. You'll see this when I get to the Bird. Normal kickstand, nice and fat kickstand, easy to park, put there, leave it when you're done. So it encourages people to park it rather than just throwing it on the side of the road like a lot of people do. Finally, getting to the back tire, pretty normal back tire. One thing I don't love about the scooter is that you can't step on this back here. Normally not an issue with any scooter that you'll buy, but because these are rental scooters, I doubt people are paying attention to this. I bet you a lot of people just put their foot down here and that starts to degrade the scooter. All in all, the Lime is a very solid scooter. What makes it stand out is the quality of life features. It's got the nice grips so you can hold on tightly. It's got the dual suspension in the front, so the bumps and cracks in the roads aren't really disrupting your ride all too much. And minor detail, the kickstand is normal. You can just park it normally, not too much of an issue. Now moving to the Bird, we're gonna start with the handlebars. The handlebars themselves are pretty narrow. Seems to be standard with these rental scooters to have kind of narrow handlebars. With the grips themselves, there's no texturing on it, so it is kind of harder to grip than the Lime. The texturing helps you have a good feel of control of the scooter. Next to it, we have a throttle, and this is a pretty big pad, which kind of feels kind of awkward when you use it with your thumb. I like the normal profile of, the one on the Lime. So far, I definitely like the Lime better in terms of the handlebars. Moving to the front, we also have the dual braking system. So again, it feels nice to have control of both the front tire and the rear tire. Looking at the display of the Bird, compared to the Lime and other scooters that you could buy, this thing is tiny. So I don't really anticipate people are using this. I definitely didn't use it when I rode the scooter. So not the best display on the Bird. Moving down the tiller to the front tire, no suspension here. So when you are riding in the road, you hit a bump, you're gonna feel that harder. And when you're riding on bumpy road, you're gonna feel that shake a little bit more. So the ride is not as good with the Bird. Now moving over to the deck, this has a pretty long deck, I think longer compared to the Lime. Part of that is because it kind of extends up here, which I like. I like how you can put your foot up here and balance it while you're riding. And it has kind of this nice texturing throughout. Now looking to the kickstand, I do not like this kickstand. I might just be dumb, but it kind of seems very difficult to actually kick it and stand it. I can see why Bird did this, because when the kickstand is down, it's pretty solid on the ground, but because it's so hard to use and to put back into place, I imagine people are gonna be throwing this scooter down to the ground a lot more than they would a Lime. All in all, the Bird is really missing those quality of life features. A little bit harder to grip the handlebars. It doesn't have the suspension in the front, so you're gonna be shaking and bumping around on the ride. And the kickstand is just terrible. And also, to kind of dig into the Bird a little bit more, I really don't like the design here. It's got this weird chrome look to it. Like early 2000s, everything was chrome. There was that like chrome robot dog everybody had. And now that kind of stuff all looks a little bit cheap. And I think this new design of the bird doesn't look that good. All in all, the Lime is the clear superior scooter for me. In terms of price, the longer you're riding it, the better a deal the Lime is. And it just has all these quality of life features. The handlebars are better, the suspension's better, the kickstand is better, and I just like the way it looks better. So if you're gonna download one app, use one scooter, the Lime is the clear winner. Thanks for watching. I'm Ryan with the Scooter Spot. If you liked the video, please leave a like, and we'll see you next time.